I shall now take you to Koforidua, particularly the Central Tabernacle Church of Pentecost, where Time with SEC is happening, with the theme Understanding the Role of the SEC in the Capital Market. Stay.
Commission plays in the capital market. At this point, we would invite the Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission, former Member of Parliament for K2 North, former Chairman of the Finance Committee, former Chairman of the Public Accounts Committee. With a round of applause, let's welcome Dr. James Kluche Aveji.
Thank you very much, Winston. And good morning, everybody. Good morning, everybody. Good. Thank you very much for coming. And I'm going to give you the opening remarks. So I have a small speech to read. The Honorable Eastern Regional Minister, I'm sure she's on the way coming. Representatives of the Bank of Ghana, National Pension Regulatory Authority, and the National Insurance Commission, the Regional Director of the Ministry of Food and Agriculture, distinguished representatives from the Ghana Stock Exchange, PricewaterhouseCoopers, the Ghana Securities Industry Association, GCB Capital, and other partner institutions, the head pastor and clergy of the Church of Pentecost, Central Tabernacle Assembly, Nanano, our revered traditional leaders, distinguished regional commanders of the Ghana Police Service, Ghana Armed Forces, Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana Prison Service, and the Ghana National Fire Service. Municipal and district chief executives here present, and the members of the MMDAs, CEOs and leaders from the private sector, entrepreneurs, members of the informal sector, civil servants, tertiary and senior high school students, the media, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It is an honor and privilege to warmly welcome you all to the Eastern Region edition of the Securities and Exchange Commission flagship investor education program, dubbed Time with the SEC. Your presence here this morning is a clear demonstration of your commitment to understanding how the capital market can serve as a catalyst for your personal growth, business expansion, and national economic development. On behalf of the Commission, I express our sincere gratitude to all of you, and especially to our collaborating institutions, the Eastern Regional Coordinating Council, the Bank of Ghana, the National Pension Regulatory Authority, National Insurance Commission, and the Ghana Stock Exchange for standing with us in advancing financial sector development in Ghana. Why are we here? The Time with the SEC series is one of our most important public education initiatives. It is designed to bring the work of the Commission closer to the people, to demystify the capital markets, to build confidence, and to empower citizens with the financial knowledge needed to make informed decisions. Our mission at the SEC is simple yet profound: to regulate and promote the growth and development of an efficient, fair, and transparent securities market where investors are protected and the market integrity is upheld. We believe that the financially literate citizenry forms the foundation of a resilient economy, and a well-informed investor is indeed a well-protected investor. When individuals, businesses, and institutions understand how to mobilize and invest money effectively, they help build an economy that is not only inclusive but sustainable. Now, the role of the capital markets in Ghana's development. Ladies and gentlemen, the capital market is not reserved for the corporate giants. It is for everybody. It promotes opportunity for individuals, entrepreneurs, and enterprises to raise funds, invest, and create sustainable wealth. Through the capital market, businesses can expand operations, government can raise funds to infrastructure, finance, and individuals can secure their long-term financial future through regulated products such as equities, bonds, and collective investment schemes. This is why investor education is so vital, because it bridges the knowledge gap, empowers citizens to participate confidently in the formation in a formal investment ecosystem and protect them from falling prey to unregulated schemes and deceptive, get-quick-richer ventures that have harmed many hardworking Ghanaians. We are aware of the unfortunate experiences that many investors have suffered in the past through the collapse of unlicensed or poorly managed investor entities. These incidents eroded public confidence and caused untold hardship for families and businesses. At SEC, we have taken valuable lessons from these experiences. Investor protection remains at the very heart of our mandate. We continue to strengthen our market surveillance and enforcement system to detect irregularities early and hold offenders accountable. In doing so, we are also working closely with the law enforcement agencies, including the police, IOCO, the judiciary, and Attorney General Department, to ensure that individuals and entities that defraud investors face the full consequences of the law. More importantly, the SEC is strengthening its oversight and regulatory powers to ensure fair market practices and investor protection. Hence, moved to overhaul the current Security and Industry Acts, Security Industry Acts, at 929 of 2016, as amended by the Security Industry Amendment Act of 2021 at 1062, to more robust acts for effective regulation. The new bill has so far gone through extensive internal review and will soon be submitted to the Ministry of Finance for consideration and onward submission to the Attorney General Department. It will subsequently be laid before Parliament for passage into law, potentially before the end of next year, 2026, all things being equal. The bill forms part of the effort to transition Ghana's capital market from a frontier to an emerging capital market status. It reflects the SEC commitment to participatory regulation and policy development, ensuring that the revised acts align with global best practices while addressing the unique realities of Ghana capital market. Additionally, the bill contains a comprehensive investor protection regime, which includes the establishment of an investor compensation fund, a safety mechanism designed to provide partial compensation to investors in the unlikely event of losses due to market infractions by licensed operators. These funds represent a key step in rebuilding investor confidence and enhancing the resilience of the capital market. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, our commitment to a robust regulatory framework is not just local, it is global. The SEC Ghana is a proud signatory A member of the National Organization of Securities Commission, IOSCO, Multilateral Memorandum of Understanding, MMOU. This international affiliation means we operate in line with the global best practices in security regulation, ensuring that our market is not only safe for domestic investors, but also attractive to international participants. Now, collaboration across the financial ecosystem. It is important to emphasize that investor protection and financial stability is not the sole responsibility of the SEC. They are shared responsibility across the financial ecosystem. This is why today we are pleased to have our sister regulators, the Bank of Ghana, the National Pension Regulatory Authority, and the National Insurance Commission joining us. Together, we form the 4 pillars of Ghana's financial regulatory architecture. Our collaboration ensures that no matter where Ghanaians save or invest, either in the banks, pensions, insurance, or capital markets, there are a robust system of oversight to protect their interests. We also acknowledge the presence of the Ghana Security Industry Association, the umbrella body for all market operators. The Ghana Stock Exchange, where continued efforts are contributing to the development of Ghana's capital market and attracting both local and foreign participation. To our partners from PwC, GCB Capital, and other private sector stakeholders, your role in promoting transparency, sound governance, and investor confidence cannot be overstated. Now, empowering every segment of a society. Today's event brings together a diverse group, from students to entrepreneurs, to law enforcement officers, public officials, traditional leaders. This diversity reflects the fact that financial literacy and market confidence are not limited to any single group. To our students, this is the ideal time to learn about money, savings, and investing responsibly. To our entrepreneurs and SMEs, the capital market offers opportunity for raising long-term funds to expand your businesses beyond traditional loans. To our civil servants and professionals, sound investment planning ensures a dignified retirement and financial independence. And to our law enforcement officers and traditional authorities, we acknowledge your role in safeguarding the peace, discipline, and public trust, and that make investor confidence possible. What are we going to learn today? Our team of experts will take you through practical lessons on understanding the role of the SEC and the structure of Ghana's capital markets, savings, investments, personal financial planning, investment products that are available, opportunities in the markets, including equities or shares, bonds, and collective investment schemes, and how to identify and avoid fraudulent investment schemes. We will also discuss how capital market can be leveraged to finance agricultural value chain, renewable energy projects, and also small business expansion. Key sectors that drive inclusive economic growth in the Eastern region and across Ghana. Now, a call to action. Ladies and gentlemen, under the resetting agenda, the future of Ghana's capital market depends on each of us. The SEC is committed to ensuring integrity, transparency, and innovation in the market. But the real transformation happens when citizens, businesses, and institutions take ownership of their financial destinies. I therefore urge everyone gathered here today and those listening on radio and social media platforms to take full advantage of this opportunity, engage, ask questions, and most importantly, share what you learned with others. Let us all become ambassadors of financial literacy and champions of ethical investing. My conclusion, as we look ahead, the SEC remains steadfast in its mission to build a capital market that is inclusive, trusted, and globally competitive. A market that serves as a true engine to support the 24-hour economy program for Ghana's economic growth. Together with our partners, stakeholders, and the good people of the Eastern region, we will continue to promote integrity, innovation, and investor protection at every level. I thank you very much for your attention. Mesdames et messieurs. God bless you, and God bless our homeland, Ghana. Thank you very much.
Dr. James Klucha-Veggie, who is Director General of the Securities and Exchange Commission. And thank you very much for your assurance on ensuring the integrity of the security market and also the laws that you're putting in place to ensure that investors are protected. Indeed, we're grateful. Well, we're in the Eastern region, Koforidua to be precise, which is the capital. And so at this point, we would invite the Eastern Regional Minister, Honorable Mrs. Rita Akosua-Awate, to give us some brief remarks with a huge round of applause.
Thank you. The Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, Dr. James Klucha, the Executive Secretary of Ghana Security Industry Association, Madame Marianne Sen, security personnel present here, the Koforidua Area Head of Pentecost Church, Apostle Mike Kwame Entry, our various heads of departments and agencies, esteemed investors and entrepreneurs here present, our distinguished invited guests, our students, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, a very good morning to everyone. I'm highly delighted to be part of this significant event, the Securities and Exchange Commission's Investors Education. I want to thank the Securities and Exchange Commission SEC on behalf of the good people of the Eastern region for the special invitation and most importantly, for choosing our area and our region as the venue for this all-important program. This demonstrates how committed the Commission is to ensuring that every Ghanaian has access to financial knowledge. Our region, known for its hard-working people, our rich cultural heritage, and our growing economic potential, understand that financial literacy is more than just a tool. It is a key driver of wealth creation, inclusive development, and national progress. Ladies and gentlemen, as you are aware, the foundation of Ghana's economic stability and growth is a strong and secure financial sector. Understanding the security market is now essential for the average citizen, the small business owner, and the local investor. It is no longer an option. The purpose of this event, time with the Securities and Exchange Commission, is to clarify complex financial concepts, It aims at equipping the public and potential investors with the information needed to distinguish between fraud and legitimate opportunities. Invest wisely, recognize market risks and protection to safeguard your capital and investment in saving profitable ventures that boost the region's economy to support local development. As a region, we understand the value of trust, transparency, and financial restraint in creating a robust economy. I applaud the Securities and Exchange Commission for its unwavering dedication to advancing investor protection and market integrity through consistent public education and regulatory supervision. You are not only educating yourselves by taking part in today's program, but you are also gaining the skills necessary to actively contribute to the development of your area. In order to create jobs and improve everyone's quality of life, you are learning how to use the formal financial market to transform your local business into nationally competitive enterprises. On this note, and on behalf of our Eastern Regional Coordinating Council and the very beautiful people of the Eastern region, we welcome you into our region. We say once again, have a fruitful engagement and enjoy the region. May God bless our homeland, Ghana. May God bless the beautiful people of Eastern region, and may God bless SEC. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Honorable Mrs. Ritter. Let's do it better for my Honorable, please. All right, so we'll go right next on our list. We have with us a remarks from Mr. Benjamin Nye, the Deputy Eastern Regional Director of Education, because we believe that financial literacy actually begins from our classroom. So with a round of applause, let's please welcome Dr. Jane. Thank you.
Good morning, distinguished ladies and gentlemen. The Eastern Regional Minister, Honorable Rita Akosua-Awate, the Director General, SEC, Honorable James Kluche Afedi, Directors, managers and officers of SEC, special invited guests, my precious students from the various institutions, please give me a wave if you are here. Good, we are proud of you. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, all protocol duly observed, good morning. I'm highly honored to represent the Eastern Regional Director of Education, Dr. Mrs. Ivy Asantua Owusu, and to be part of this program, Time with SEC, under the theme, Understanding the Role of the SEC in the Ghanaian Capital Market. I bring you greetings from my boss, and on her behalf, I welcome all of you to this very important program. We thank the Lord God Almighty. He has been so good to us. He has given us life and opportunity to gather like this, to learn and share. And we are grateful to the Most High. This program promises to be an exciting one, full of learning, entertainment, and reflection. The securities market is a market where financial instruments like stocks, bonds, and derivatives are bought and sold. The SEC is a pillar and the main regulator of the securities market. Its role of protecting investors, ensuring market integrity, and facilitating responsible capital formation are interconnected and essential to economic prosperity. For us in the education sector, this will afford us the opportunity to learn more and update our knowledge with relevant facts. I agree with Henry Ford, who stated that anyone who stops learning is old, whether 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young, quote and unquote. And also with Leonardo da Vinci, who stated that learning is the only thing the mind never exhausts, never fears, and never regrets, quote and unquote. We are grateful to the management of SEC for bringing this program to our doorsteps and for giving our students and learners the opportunities to learn outside the classroom. This investor education program will help us, learners and staff, to acquire some relevant knowledge and equip ourselves with facts about the securities market and what SEC does to protect investors and uphold the integrity of the market. On this note, on behalf of my Regional Director of Education and the management of the Regional Education Directorate, I warmly welcome all of you and wish you all the best in this program. Ask questions, make notes, and take advantage of this quality time with SEC. Long live Ghana. Long live the Education Service. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Benjamin Nye. And Mr. Benjamin Nye, we believe that very soon we will begin to learn financial literacy as a course or as a subject in our secondary schools. All our students, what do you think about that? Yes, we all agree with that. So next on our list, we also have the remarks from Madam Marian M. Dancy, that is the Executive Secretary for the Ghana Securities Industry Association. Please, with the rounds of applause, let's welcome Madam Marian M. Dancy. Oh, please, let's do it for her until she actually takes the microphone, please. Until she takes the microphone. All right, thank you so much, madam.
Thank you. The name is Johnny. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and distinguished guests. Permit me to stand on all protocols, DG. Greetings from the Ghana Securities Industry Association, GSI, and from its president, Mr. Kisei Antonio, who is unable to join us today for this program, but maybe for subsequent ones, he would be present. I'm also here with our Governing Council member and Vice President of the Association, Mrs. Eugenia Bashir. Mrs. Eugenia Bashir is also the MD of TESA Capital, so she's wearing two hats today, one for the GSI and the other for TESA. I would like to thank the SEC led by Dr. James Aveji for the invitation to this program and for the opportunity to share a few remarks. The Ghana Securities Industry Association serves as the voice, as the unified voice of the securities industry in Ghana, representing the interests of broker-dealers, custodians, fund managers, investment advisors, issuing houses, registrars, securities exchanges, and securities depositories. The GSI was licensed by the Securities and Exchange Commission and the GSI was incorporated as a company limited by guarantee on 11 December 2003. The association's mandate spans advocacy, policy development, education, communication, and industry coordination. By working closely with regulators and key stakeholders, the GSI seeks to promote best practices, strengthen market structure and integrity, and advance the sustainable growth of Ghana's capital markets and its role within the broader financial ecosystem. We are pleased to be part of the Time with the SEC, especially the Investor Education Series, for its focus on the youth. The GSI is aligned with the SEC on different fronts, a critical one being investor education. The GSI has instituted programs in the past geared at tertiary institutions. In recent times, the focus has shifted. We have organized 2 successful editions of the Capital Market Internship Program, CMIP, which is designed to provide students between the ages of 16 to 18 years the opportunity to enrich their understanding and exposure to the securities market. Students are placed within our member firms for a 2-week internship period to experience the world of work and the securities market. Courtesy to the Ghana Stock Exchange, they also get the experience on simulations on trading on the stock exchange. We intend to broaden the scope of our programs to include student outreaches. We are therefore excited to engage in the Time with the SEC investor education because we consider these sessions very key. Key because it provides the ability to make sound investment decisions, thereby avoiding the pitfalls with investment choices and helping to navigate the issue of risk and return. You may have heard that in investments, the higher the return, the higher the risk associated with it. We applaud the SEC on this endeavor and wish you the very best on each leg of the programs. As I conclude my remarks, I want to turn to the youth with an all-time favorite quote, which has been interpreted widely. It is from an ancient Greek poet, Horace, and it is Carpe Diem, seize the moment. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Madam Marian Jani, who is Executive Secretary of the Ghana Securities Industry Association. So when I started the program, I indicated that we're coming to you live from the Central Tabernacle of the Church of Pentecost. At this juncture, I would invite the area head, Church of Pentecost, Koforidua area, Apostle Mike Kwame to give us some brief remarks with a huge round of applause.
So I have to start with praise the Lord. Thank you for your response. You are most welcome here. So Honorable Rita Akosua J. Awati, Eastern Regional Minister, Dr. James Kuluchi Aveji, Director General of Securities and Exchange Commission, distinguished commissioners and officials of SEC, esteemed regulators, partners, and stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Central Tabernacle of the Church of Pentecost. It is an honor and privilege to deliver these remarks at the Eastern Regional edition of Time with SEC. This program is not only a public education initiative, but a strategic national conversation about confidence, responsibility, and the future of Ghana financial markets. The theme for today's event, understanding the role of the SEC in the capital market is timely and significant. The capital market serves as a vital engine for economic growth, channeling savings into productive investment, supporting entrepreneurship, and creating opportunity for individuals and businesses. For this system to function effectively, it is required a credible regulatory body to maintain transparency, ensure fairness, and uphold the integrity of all the market participants. That body in Ghana is the Securities and Exchange Commission. By promoting investor education, enforcing regulations, and fostering innovation, the Securities and Exchange Commission plays a central role in building a market that not only mobilize capital, but also sustain trust. Indeed, where there's no trust, there can be no meaningful investment. The Securities and Exchange Commission's work therefore needs or extends beyond financial supervision. It is an act of nation building. From a faith perspective, we understand stewardship as a sacred duty. In Luke chapter 16, verse 10, the scripture reminds us that whoever can be trusted with very little can be trusted with so much. Integrity, accountability, and transparency are divine values that should guide every sector of society, including in finance. A well-regulated and ethical capital market is a reflection of these godly virtues at work in our economy. I commend the Securities and Exchange Commission for bringing this important engagement to the Eastern region. By reaching community directly, you bridge the gap between regulators and the public, empowering citizens with the knowledge to make informed and responsible financial decisions. Such outreach built the kind of informed participation necessary for resilient and inclusive economy. As a church committed to holistic transformation, on the vision, the Church of Pentecost Vision 2028, unleashing the whole church for the transformation of their world with the values and principles of the kingdom of God. We believe that national transformation requires partnership between faith communities, public institutions, and citizens. We therefore stand ready to support initiatives that promote ethical conduct, financial literacy, and socio-economic progress. As I conclude my today's discussion, strengthen our collective understanding of the capital market and reinforce the values that sustain it: integrity, accountability, and collaboration. Let us each play our part in ensuring that Ghana's financial landscape remains secure, transparent, and growth-oriented. Thank you, and may God Almighty bless our efforts towards a prosperous, trustworthy market economy.
Then let's do it well for Apostle. Thank you so much, Apostle Mike. And indeed, we are praying that our faith will be strong as our financial plans. Amen. Okay, so it's time for us to spice things up. And so we have with us a very young lady that believes that financial literacy can be placed in the rhythm of a form. And so she's here with a spoken word, and she goes by the name Miss Nora Emifa Aholu. Please, with a round of applause, let's welcome Miss Nora. Let's do it for her until she actually gets her mic, please.
To the Gen Zs and AI generation, come closer. Millennials and Gen X, you all might want to come around too, for I am here on a mission to envision a generation of financial literates. A generation that creates, recreates, grows, regrows money, and teaches others to manage it properly. So get on board. Pay close attention and listen with precision so that when it is your turn to tell it, you may teach tomorrow what today has taught. Listen, money is not the root of evil. Yes, money is not the root of evil. The lack of money is the actual root of evil. And you know what's worse? The love for quick money. That is the whole tree of evil. And unfortunately, many young ones are feeding off the fruit of this evil tree, and it is silently destroying us all because everybody wants to make it overnight. You call it betting. I call it bleeding. You call it a strategy. I call it slavery. For in this game for quick money, you always lose, my dear. Bits by bits, bets by bet. For every sure win, it's a slow loss in disguise. You are not playing the game, you are being played, my dear. In every game, you shout sure banker, but the only thing that is sure is your disappointment after. One missed penalty ruins your whole day. You blame the goalkeeper for your misfortune. You are praying for Mbappe to score, yet your dreams are on bench. You know all the teams, all the leagues, all the stats, yet you know nothing about financial literacy. You can plan and arrange odds effectively, yet you have no plan for your future. All you do is flaunt fake designers and watches that tell no time. With this, my dear, your value will keep depreciating. See, if betting is your only hustle, then suffering shall be your daily struggle. And if aviator is also your daily hustle, then just like that plane, you shall rise and crash and lose it all. Oh, this is not a curse, this is the word of God. You see, money is not the enemy. It's about how much you spend that determines your destiny. It's not about how much you earn, it's about how much you save in return. So save, speak finance, learn finance. It's quite unfortunate that we, the digital descendants, keep falling victims for these Ponzi schemes and financial fraud. Well, who are we to even blame? They teach us all the maths in school, yet they don't teach us how to manage money properly. Brella, you can solve for X in every equation, but you can't solve why you are broke every month. Quiz boy, you know all the Pythagoras theorem, so katswa. Yet your financial vision is cost 90. You know nothing about financial literacy. See, learn about investments, learn about stocks, learn about compound interest for your own interest, learn about assets, don't become a liability. My dear, see, success is not built overnight. It is built through vision. It is built through hard work. It is built through consistent play. So don't be deceived. So log out of that betting app and log into your future. For you, my dear, you are greatness personified. You are made for more, and you are worth more than those bet slips. You are worth more than those numbers. You are worth more than those leagues. So, fellow Gen Zs, millennials and Gen X, in this age of abundant opportunity, let us rise with strength and audacity, taking hold of our future with full responsibility, turning our stories of poverty into prosperity. Yes, the future depends on us, so no mediocrity. I said the future depends on us, so no mediocrity. Let us invest with integrity. Let us hustle with integrity. Let us invest with intentionality. Let us work hard to turn every limitation into a possibility. Let us turn every struggle into a possibility. Let the mindset be about productivity. And just like the SEC is doing, let us spread this word to every community. I said just like the SEC is doing, let us spread this word to every community. And yes, let us spread the message of financial literacy to every community so that we will be known as the generation that stood tall in terms of financial literacy. Thank you very much.
I am sure you know you can definitely do better. Let's give another huge round of applause. And I am sure my job here is to ensure continuity. Good. I like that. But, you know, when she was talking about Gen Zs and millennials and all, and she started talking about Aviator, I saw the discomfort amongst many of you. Why? Are some of you engaged in Aviator? Do you know Aviator? How do you know Aviator? Oh, I see. I now understand why we are here. Because if you are engaged in that, it's so uncertain. Okay, there should be some certainty with how you invest. And I'm happy that our next presentation is actually about understanding the Securities and Exchange Commission and also the capital market. Let's welcome Andy Enim, who's Deputy Chief Manager of SEC, with a round of applause.
Okay. Thank you very much, and a good morning to our Director General and all our invited guests, those of us here and those of us who have joined us online. And a special thank you to MFA for those encouraging words. We are here to give you all the information you need to know about the Securities and Exchange Commission and the capital market and the opportunities that are available for you as students, as the investing public, and as people who would see some benefits in investing in the market. So in the next couple of minutes, myself and my colleagues are going to walk you through what we do at the SEC, some of the investment products that are available, some of the risks that are in the market, and a general conversation about career opportunities in the securities industry. So without much ado, I'll just go straight into my presentation. This morning, I'll be speaking to you about the Securities and Exchange Commission and what we do. So if you hear SEC, I'm sure a lot of us got to know about SEC just this week, and so we are going to spend a little time to delve into our activities. Now, when you pick Ghana's financial sector, it is divided into four main subsectors. So you have banking, you have insurance, you have pensions, and then you have the securities market. Banking is regulated by the Bank of Ghana. They make sure that all your deposits that you put in every bank are safe and secure. The National Insurance Commission makes sure that all our insurance products are compliant with the laws and nobody is cheating you out of your insurance. The National Pensions Regulatory Authority, which supervises pensions, also makes sure that when you go on retirement, you have enough money that will take care of your retirement. So they have rules, they have regulations, they have products, they have a whole framework that makes sure that your pensions are safeguarded. Now, when it comes to the securities industry, which is what the SEC does, we look at everything securities and the capital market. And what does that mean? It means that, first of all, the state, which is through the parliament of the nation, has passed an act, which we call the Securities Industry Act. That gives us the power to do certain things within the securities industry. So Parliament, through the various work that they do, passes acts or laws to guard and provide a framework for how the market is supposed to run. And what Parliament has mandated us to do, one, is to take care of the regulatory function of the securities industry. And with that, we mean we have a regulatory framework, we have rules, we have laws that guide how the market is supposed to be run. Another mandate that Parliament has given us is to develop the market. So we have a market development mandate, which ensures that the market is not stagnant. We are always coming up with new things, always coming up with new investment products to increase the product base that we have in the market. Now, the third most important function that Parliament has given us through the Securities Industry Act is investor protection. And what we mean by investor protection is when you put your money in any of the sectors within the securities market, there must be a state institution to make sure that those investments are protected. And SEC is tasked with the responsibility of making sure that the investments that you have in any of our products, in any of the sectors in the market, are well protected. So these are the three broad mandates that has been given to us per the Securities Industry Act. Now, the SEC is also part of an international association. So we see the international association more like a club. I believe a number of you are members of various clubs for whatever reason within your various institutions. The SEC also belongs to a club. We like to call it a club. But this club is a global one, and it's a representation of all securities commission across the continent in the world. And we see it as being one of the beneficial associations because they provide standards, global standards, which Ghana, once we have subscribed to being a member of that global body, we also try to ensure that when you come locally, our rules, our laws, the product that we have are meeting those international standards as well. I would encourage you to take a lot of notes because there will be time for Q&A. So Nora has already said you guys should pay attention, and I just want to add my word to what she said earlier. So we are expecting a lot of questions from you following our presentations. Okay, so just like every institution, the SEC also has a board, and we call our board the Board of Commissioners, and the board sits on top of what we do. This board comprises a maximum of 11 commissioners, and it is headed by a non-executive chairman, which means that that chairman does not work with us on a day-to-day basis. Okay, the board of the SEC has a non-executive chairman who makes sure everything we do complies with what Parliament, through the Act, has mandated that we do. So on that board, we have a Director General who is deputized by two other Director Generals. We have a representative from the Bank of Ghana who sits on our board. We also have a representative from the Ministry of Finance because we report to the Ministry of Finance. We also have the Registrar General, or a representative from the Office of the Registrar General. So the Registrar General's department or office is the office that does the registration of all companies and businesses in Ghana. And we have a rep sitting on our board from the Office of the Registrar of Companies. We also have 4 persons, including a judge of the Superior Court. Because we deal with laws, you can't have a board without having somebody who understands the technicalities of the laws being on our board. So we have a representative who is a judge of the Superior Court or a lawyer qualified to be appointed as a judge of the Superior Court. We also have a member from the Chartered Institute of Accountants, Ghana. We have an academic research, and for gender balance, there's a requirement that we always have a woman on our board. So what does the SEC stand for? Why are we even in existence, if one may want to ask? The key object of the SEC is to regulate, promote the growth and development of an efficient, fair and transparent securities market in which investors and the integrity of the market are protected. What does this long phrase mean? It simply means that we have been mandated to make sure everything around the securities industry goes as planned. Okay? Everything that is supposed to go on within the securities industry must run smoothly, must run efficiently, so that we don't have hiccups here and there. I touched on our 3 broad mandates, and those 3 broad mandates are featured into our functions. So when you look at Section 3 of our Securities Industry Act, it breaks down exactly what it is we are supposed to do as a regulatory body. And one of the key things is to advise the minister. I've already mentioned that the Ministry of Finance is our key sector ministry. So we advise the minister on matters relating to the securities industry. We maintain surveillance of activities in the securities industry. What does this mean? We have what we call on-site and off-site supervision. And what this means is that we go out to inspect our licensees to make sure they are complying with the laws. There's also a requirement for all our licensees to submit reports to us, and we review the reports, and where there are issues with the report, we engage them to try and come to a resolution. So that is what the surveillance activity simply means. We also monitor the insolvency of our licensees. And what does that mean? If you are a licensee, a body corporate, or a company operating within the securities industry, we have an expectation that you have enough resources, financial resources, to be able to do the work that you do effectively. And so we constantly monitor your financials to make sure you are meeting your obligations as and when they fall due. We also protect the integrity of the securities market against abuses. So if we find out somebody is abusing the market in any way, we quickly go in to take action. We also have proactive measures which make sure some of these abuses don't even arise altogether through our market surveillance activities. Also, when there are any conflict of interest that occur within the market, we quickly move in to resolve those conflicts of interest. Now, when you talk about the market, we have something we call the capital market. The capital market is the market where you go and raise money initially. So companies desirous of money to expand, to grow, to do a number of things, come to this market to raise the money. And the SEC regulates what they do there in terms of if there is any takeover, if one company wants to take over another company, if two companies want to come together to form one entity, which is what we call the mergers and acquisitions. We make sure that all those business combinations fall within what we have per the requirements of the law. And even before they go out to raise the money, they submit their documents. Normally, there's a document we call a prospectus, which goes to the investing public. So anytime you are buying securities, shares from the market, there's supposed to be a document called the prospectus, which gives you details about the company. And this information is scrutinized by the SEC before it comes out to you, the investor, to help you make an informed decision. We also are mandated to create the necessary atmosphere for the orderly growth and development of the market. Because we work with a lot of companies, we also try and go by the provisions of the Companies Act. I've already mentioned the invitations to the public. And we authorize and regulate issuing of securities, which is something I've also already touched on. So what is our philosophy? Why do we even do what we do, and how do we do it? What is our guiding philosophy as a Securities Commission? Our mission is to regulate, innovate, and promote the growth and development of an efficient, fair, and transparent securities market in which investors and the integrity of the market are protected. I believe a number of speakers have touched on this mission of the SEC. So this is what we stand for. This is what we aim to do, and we strive our very best to make sure we are regulating, we are innovating, and promoting the growth and development of an efficient securities market. Our vision, every institution has a vision. Where do we want to get to? That is what we have spelled out in our vision. And with our vision, we are saying we aim to be a top-tier securities market regulator in Africa. So securities market is not something that is just in Ghana. It is in almost every country. Every developed country has a securities market, and they have regulators. And for us, we want to be one of the very best when it comes to Africa. And so we strive very hard to maintain that vision. What values do we operate with? We like to operate in a cordial environment. So we have team spirit as one of our core values. We have respect for each other, for the market, for the investing public, which is one of the reasons why we are here. We want to educate the market because we respect what you do. We respect the fact that you have labored and you are investing in our market. And so we come here to talk to you, to educate you about the market, the opportunities, and whatnot. We also strive to be very innovative, to stay abreast with the time by coming up with solutions that are global standards. And we are committed to what we do as a securities regulator, and as have been mandated by Parliament through the Securities Industry Act. So I've mentioned the Securities Industry Act, and one may be wondering, why do we even have this act? So I would want us to watch a very short video, and I'll ask a few questions around it, then we can proceed. So just an observation, I'm going to ask a few questions about just this video. Okay, I think we've seen enough. We can pause it here. Thank you. But from your observation, can anybody tell me what they are seeing? So we are just going to use just 1 minute to just dissect this video. Anybody from the audience, just tell me what you are seeing. You don't need a microphone. You can just raise your hand and just go ahead. Oh, anybody, help me out. What did you see in the video? Sorry? There's no, let me calm down to you. Sorry. There's no control. So the honorable policeman here says there's no control. Anything else somebody saw? Yes, go ahead. There's no traffic lights, so there's no system to regulate what was happening on the road. Thank you very much. What else did anybody see? One more. Yes, go ahead. There's no what? There's no fear. So they are doing whatever they want because they think they can do whatever they want. Thank you very much for your responses. And this is exactly why you need regulations. You know, the policeman mentioned that there's no control because nobody is actually controlling what is happening with the traffic. Everybody is doing what they like. Some people think they are tough, and so they will do whatever they want to do on the road. And our gentleman from the back also mentioned that there was actually, yes, no control. So this is exactly why you need regulation. Without regulation, there will be chaos. There will be utter chaos within the financial market. And that is why Parliament has, in their wisdom, provided an act which spells out exactly how the market should be controlled. Without financial regulation, without somebody standing in the middle to say, you can't do this, you can't do that, this is how this should be done, you are not allowed to do it this way, there will be utter chaos. And so the rights of people within the market will not be protected at all. So this is the essence of regulation within the securities industry. So some of the frameworks that we use in regulating the securities industry, our parent act is the Securities Industry Act, Act 929, which is what forms the basis for what we do as a securities regulator. We have an amendment of that act. We also work closely with the Companies Act because, once again, we deal with companies within the securities industry. There are times that they go bust, they go down, and so there are issues with their financials. And so we also work with the Corporate Insolvency and Restructuring Act to make sure if there are liquidation issues, if the company is going down, we have measures, we have a framework to deal with those regulations. Now, anti-money laundering is becoming a very big issue. What is anti-money laundering? It's just a means whereby people make money illegally, and then they try to wash it by bringing it into a legal framework or a well-regulated environment to hide the illegal activities they are doing. And so there's a whole act of Parliament which makes sure that people who do fraudulent activities can't make money through those fraudulent activities and bring it into the right environment and use the money as if they made the money legitimately. We also have our regulations. Parliament, through the Act, has also given us the power to issue what we call directives. So we can direct you to behave in a certain way. We issue guidelines to explain things further. We issue circulars to give you information. We issue codes to expand on what we have in our Act. And all these instruments are instruments that have been allowed for us to be able to use to regulate the securities industry. We also have what we call the unit trust and mutual fund regulations, which guide our collective investment schemes generally. So one of my colleagues will touch on what we mean by collective investment scheme in a few minutes. We also rely on other rules. So SEC does not operate alone. We have what we call the Central Securities Depository, which I'll touch on briefly, and there's a whole act that guides that institution's operations. I've already mentioned national pensions. I've also mentioned the banks. And there's a very important market, which we call the Ghana Stock Exchange, which is where companies go to raise money, and we as the investing public can buy shares into those companies which are listed on the Ghana Stock Exchange. We also have a commodity exchange, which is something I'll touch on briefly. I mentioned earlier on that we are part of this international organization called IOSCO, which is the International Organization of Securities Commissions. And I've already mentioned that it is like a club, just like you would have with your normal clubs. And the reason why we have joined IOSCO is because they have principles, and these principles are guiding principles which a number of securities regulators across the globe subscribe to. And these principles help us to maintain a standard as a market which meets best practices globally and meeting international standards. So IOSCO has 38 principles, and these principles are more or less factored into our domestic laws so that we maintain our position as a very competitive environment in the securities industry. So what does the SEC even regulate? When you look at the definition of what constitutes securities, so you hear the name Securities and Exchange Commission, what do we even do at all? These are the products that we regulate within the securities industry, or financial instruments that we regulate within the securities industry. So we have what we call shares. Okay, we have shares, we have loan instruments, we have bonds and other loan instruments of the government. And what this means is that when the government needs money, it can actually come to you and I and say, oh, I need to finance this road. My taxes are not enough. Can you lend me money? I'll pay you interest over this period. And that is what goes into our bonds. Shares are just ownership interests, where a company can come to you that I need money to expand, I need money to do ABC. Did you want to join my business? If you give that company money, the company would give you part ownership. Okay, the company would actually give you part ownership. So your shares in that business means you are a part owner of that business. And anytime there is any financial reward through the payment of, for example, dividend, they are mandated to give you a portion of that money because you're a part owner of that business. We also have rights and interests, whether described as units or otherwise, and then what we call warehouse receipts, which is something under Ghana Commodity Exchange, which I'll touch on briefly. The principal financial instrument that we have in the Ghanaian market will be your shares and debt instruments. So shares are issued by companies. Debt instruments can be issued by companies. They can also be issued by the government. Okay, so examples of debt instruments issued by the government will be your bonds and your treasury bills. Your bonds are those instruments that are long dated, so more than 1 year, 5 years, 10 years. Those are what we call bonds. And the treasury bills are very short-term debt security, so less than 1 year. So if you hear treasury bills, you hear bonds, don't be confused at all. It is just the government telling you that it needs money either for a short period or for a long period, okay? We also have a number of licensees. So these are actually companies that we license. We license fund managers. So fund managers take your money, they pool your money and invest for you in a pool. So you maintain units or interest within the pools as an investor. We have note trustees who make sure that every company that is issuing bond has some agreements which spells out the terms of the note. So the note trustees are the ones who take care of the documentation for the corporate bonds. Mutual funds are just collective investment schemes. My colleague will touch on that in a few moments. We have an institution called a depository, and this depository is a very important market infrastructure. What it does is it keeps electronic records of all your interest in securities in the market. Okay, so if you have any shares, if you have any bonds, if you have any instruments, this depository would make sure that your interest is recorded in a system that can be touched, a very secure system. We have issuing houses, we have private funds, credit rating agencies. They actually make sure that if you want to borrow on the market, we we rate you and tell the investors that this investment is good based on the rating that we have given it, based on the information that we have analyzed, this investment is good, so you can put your money in there. We also have securities exchanges. One key securities exchange is the Ghana Stock Exchange, which I believe one of our colleagues will speak to in a matter of minutes. The last one I want to talk about is the broker-dealers. So broker-dealers are the companies where you can go to and make a request to buy or sell securities. We license them as well in the market, and they perform a very vital role in the securities industry. Yes. So I'd like to go to how the SEC regulates. We license, which means we give you, just like you go to DVLA to get your driver's license to be able to drive. If you want to operate in the securities industry, you have to be licensed. We register, we approve transactions, we review the returns. I've already mentioned that we conduct investigations, we go out to do inspections, we do market surveillance, and we cooperate with our sister regulatory bodies around the globe. Next slide, please. What are some of the tools of enforcement? So because the SEC is mandated to regulate the market, it has to have some enforcement powers. And one of the enforcement powers is to suspend a license. We can also take our license back from you if you realize you are not operating or performing in accordance with what you have been required to do. We can disqualify you from the market. We can warn you privately or publicly. We can go to the court and ask the court to freeze your account. We can impose fines and imprisonment on you based on our relationship with the Attorney General's office. We can also fine you administratively. We can compound our offenses, and we can ask you to stop and desist from a practice that you are engaging in. The Ghana Stock Exchange will be handled by one of our colleagues from the Stock Exchange, so I'll skip this slide. Can we move to the next? One key exchange we have in the market is the Ghana Commodity Exchange. So this exchange was set up predominantly to help our farmers. So farmers who produce, currently they are just dealing with grains, so maize, soya, rice, can actually use the services of the Ghana Commodity Exchange. They can deposit their goods at the Ghana Commodity Exchange, and they will be sold through the Ghana Commodity Exchange to anybody who wants to buy those grains. So it's a very important exchange for helping our farmers with their produce. Can we move on, please? This is a very important institution, like I've mentioned. The Central Securities Depository is the institution that keeps electronic records of all your transactions. So if you know anybody who has bought shares, you can ask your parents, your family members, if they've ever bought shares before, if they own bonds, treasury bills, they should inquire whether they have a CSD account. Okay, if they don't have that, all they need is their Ghana card. They can go to a broker-dealer or the CSD to update their records so that their details can be captured, so that there's a third-party verification that they own those securities. Okay, CSD performs that vital role for us by keeping records of investors in a safe and secure environment. What are some of the recent developments that has happened within the securities market? So, time with the SEC is one of the things that we have been doing. We've been to a number of regions, Kumasi, the Volta region, to talk to the investment public just as we are talking to you, because we want to promote financial literacy. Can we move on? We also have what we call the Capital Market Master Plan, which is a plan detailing exactly how we envision the market to be. So, like I mentioned, one of the things we strive to do is to grow the market and be innovative. This master plan serves as a blueprint for us to be able to achieve exactly just that. And we have 4 pillars in that master plan. One of the key pillars is creating a diversity of investment products. Another pillar is increasing our investor base. The third pillar is strengthening infrastructure, and then obviously improving the regulation and how we do our enforcement. We also have a draft securities industry bill, which is coming up. It's just in the draft stages. Once we are done with that draft industry bill, it will be passed by Parliament again as a new securities industry law. And it is coming with a lot of innovation, a lot of products that will help grow the market and safeguard investors' investment in the capital market. Okay, I think with this, I am done with my presentation. My colleague will continue. Thank you very much.
Thank you very, very much, Andy and Nim. And the applause from the students and everyone else tells me that you all understand, right? Do you understand? Good. I'm happy you understand what SEC is all about. So later on, we'll give you a chance to ask questions. So once you're listening, please note that you would have a chance to ask questions. And so any question you may want to ask, just write it. And once it is time, you can see the microphones would come to you so you can ask all your questions. Enti niameka ne se enche yebema obi a owo ha kwan na se o asem bisa bi a watumi abisa nia ye nua no eka ene no o kire ye adwuma a wo mudie o kire se wo mo no mo yimane so mbehwe na mabo ye sika no ho ban enti sebe wo koto shares a wa kire ase bi a company was stock exchange o pese o du sika kakra shem na o du sika shem na manfo so eto na ekosoro ne nyina no mo yimane so mo behwe na o sika no o mabo ho ban. Open long-term investment, you can also do that, and it would ensure that at the end of it all, your funds are protected, most importantly, and also ensure that the right entities are involved in the market. So at this point, it's important for us to have a conversation about savings, investment, and personal financial planning, as well as understanding investment, risk, and products in the securities market. Let's welcome David Butcher, who is manager of SEC, with a round of applause.
I nearly said hallelujah. So my school lost in the science and math quiz yesterday. So I'm not happy. However, I think that having listened to the structures that the SEC has in place for your money, you are going to invest in the right security. The right security. That's good. It means that we are in the house. Okay, so my name is David Boche from the Risk Management Department of the SEC. I'm going to take you through savings, investments, and then risks and products in the securities market. No, this is my second slide, actually. I'm doing savings, investment, personal financing decisions, or personal financing planning. And like he said, it's in twofold. So the first part is the savings and investment. The second part is actually the understanding investments, the risks in investments, and then the investment products. Okay, so what is savings? Savings refers to the portion of your income not spent on current expenditure, but rather set aside for the future. The portion of your income not spent on the current expenditure, but rather set for the future. The term savings originates from the Arabic word her, which means of free condition. It refers to a slave or a prisoner who makes savings to regain his freedom. So in the past, what happens is that slaves who want their freedom work, put money aside, and then when they get enough, what they do is that they go to their masters, pay, and then take themselves out of slavery. Therefore, savings carry the idea of freedom to build a better future. A better future. That is what savings will do to you. But savings alone will not take you there. Savings would have to transition into something else called investment. Now, why is savings important? Financing projects. Help wants to finance short-term and long-term financial goals, emergency fund, child education, car, house, starting a business, etc. Avoiding debt. When you save, you avoid debt. So what this presupposes is that you cannot have debt and then you say you are saving. You owe Ama 200 cedis. And then you say you have saved 200 cedis. That saving is Zero. Next is retirement. Allows one to maintain standards of living after active working life. The earlier you start, the less you save. Now, the earlier you start, the more you will do save. Now, financial independence, where you don't depend on anybody. In fact, when you have enough, we all know that you don't really depend on anyone. Next slide. How do I start saving? Start by tracking your expenses. Start by tracking your expenses. Create a budget and make savings a monthly expense. So just as when you get your monthly money, you say, I'm going to pay electricity bill, I'm going to pay water bill, I'm going to do this, do that, do that. Savings will also have to come out of that same income as what? Something that you are putting up like an expense. But this expense is actually going to come back to you in the form of what? Investment in the future. Now, economize on what wants by cutting non-essentials. Cut waste in entertainment, rides, utility usage, shop smart, do-it-yourself attitude. Now, sometimes you come to our house, you are wearing headphones, listening to music. The radio is also talking. The TV is on. Your laptop is also on. Which of these things are you listening to? At the end of the day, ECG just keeps on increasing, but you don't know that bit by bit, what you are supposed to be saving is going down the drain. Are you with me? Now, develop goals to make savings meaningful. Estimate how much money you will need for your goals and determine how long to achieve them. There is a saying that if you don't know where you are going, any road at all will lead you there. So before you even start putting money down as savings, you should have what? A goal. That this is what I want to do. Otherwise, you put the susu down, at the end of the day, you just go for it and just go and buy something. You experience it, right? That happens because there is no goal, there is no objective, there is no end game. You just started doing susu, or you just started saving. And all of us here will bear witness to that. Now, maximize savings through schemes, benefits that can what? Be obtained from employment. Tier 3, voluntary pensions contribution with associated tax benefit. So for the oldies that are already working, who are earning something in Tier 3 from your employer, it is speaking to you that all these things will go into what? Savings. You can create your own personal Tier 3. Put it aside that, oh, by the end of my service, I'm going to reap this benefit. It could be 30 years, it could be 20 years, but every year you are putting something aside. How do I start saving? Saving the money at regular intervals, weekly, monthly, etc. Now, making savings a habit is where the secret lies. Making savings a habit. You are supposed to be very committed to the fact that you have a goal, you have not gotten to the goal, therefore you are not stopping. It has to be part of you. If mommy gives you 100 cedis, 50 cedis, a side of you will have to tell you that, no, I have to put something somewhere for the future. Which future you have determined through your goal. Grow your savings by putting your money to work. Your money will grow through the power of compounding. And this is where savings now move towards investment. The power of what? Compounding. When you move savings, and you get a huge money, then you can decide to now go and put that money into what? An investment. When an investment picks it up, the investment is now going to do what? Be adding up to your money by what we call compounding. So you put 1,000 there. In 1 year time, you have 1,002. Next year, it's not 1,000 that is going again. It is 1,002 that is going again. Okay? By the third year, if you have 1,005, you have what you invested is 1,000, but now you are building on from 1,005. 10 years from now, it will shock you the amount of money you are going to make. What is investment? Now, this is where we draw the line. Investment is the current commitment of money or other resources in the hope of reaping future benefits. But there is an underlying thing there. You do not have to have want. You have not paid electricity, but you've not paid rent, you've not paid school fees, and you say you have investment. Before you go into investment, the basic necessities are supposed to have been met. Otherwise, whatever you say you are investing is hollow, because they are going to be taken away by the liabilities that you have what? Created. It can be purchase of shares, bonds, with anticipation that the future proceeds will justify both money tied up and the risk of the investment. The time you spend studying a course is also an investment, because you forgo the current leisure. Okay? In the expectation, can you go back, please? In the expectation that your future career will be sufficiently enhanced to justify current commitment, time, and effort. So now you are putting in time and what? Effort as what? Your investment. What is going to come out is what? Your career. Next slide. Next slide. Now, investment categories. Generally, investments can be categorized into what? 3. Income, growth, and a combination of the two. Income. Investments like bonds and rental properties can generate regular income payments. Who is a landlord here? If you're a landlord and somebody is paying rent, that is an income. When the incomes come to you, what do you do with it? Stocks and other assets may increase in value over time, offering potential capital appreciation. When they say capital appreciation, you can buy a stock or a bond today. That is 20 cedis. Let's say you bought a share of a company, that is 20 cedis today. You held the shares for 2 years, and the share is 30 cedis per share. It means that the money that you used to buy that particular share has gone up by 50%. Do you understand? Now we have the combination, which is some investments offer a blend of income generation and growth potential. The same way we are talking about shares again. When you have shares, you can get dividend from the shares. The company can get you dividends when they declare one out of their profits. The same shares will then give you capital appreciation. Why? Because when you buy the share at 20 cedis and it is trading at 30 cedis, that means that there is an increase in your capital we call capital gain. So the combination of the two can emanate from what we call your share return. Next slide. So these are some of the investment products you will find. It is not limited to this. We have treasury bills and notes, normally issued by the government of Ghana. Then we have fixed deposits. We have commercial papers, shares, bonds, collective investment schemes, which has to do with mutual funds and unit trust. I will defer this to the second part, then we'll get explanation there. Next slide. So these are just investment benchmarks. So you see, when you are staking your betting and all that, you don't have the technicalities involved. All you need is that, like MFA said, Mbappe is supposed to score goal, but your dream is actually on the bench or something. Do you get it? These are things that guide the market, handled by technical people. Somebody can just look at this trend and know how to invest your money for you. Technical people who have been trained, gone to school, and know how to manage things of that nature. Next slide. Difference between savings and investments. I will treat this one again in the other part. Next slide. So type of investors, the other part will take it up. Next slide. So when it comes to investment and say we've gotten the differentiation, something small will be added to it in the next part. But let's see, how do you plan financially? So what is personal financial planning? Personal financial planning is the process of managing your financial resources to achieve specific life goals and objectives. Like I said, if you don't know where you are going, any road at all will lead you there. So you have to get specific life goals that you want to achieve. So this is the process. The process involves assessing your current financial situation, setting realistic goals, developing strategy to achieve those goals, and regularly monitoring and adjusting your financial plan and as circumstances change. The circumstances changes mean that I get paid 2,000 cedis every month. My circumstance can change next year, and I'll get a job that pays me 5,000. If I was putting down 200 cedis, I would have to be putting down 500 cedis a month now. I hope you understand. Now, when you lose your job too, and now what you got also pays you 1,000 cedis. You can't say that, oh, now I've lost my job, so I'm not putting anything in there. You can scale it down by putting 100 cedis there when the circumstances also change. Good. So, the financial goals are specific objectives that individuals or households set to achieve their desired financial outcome. That is what I just spoke about. Next slide. So these are some of the goals that you can set for yourself. Emergency fund. And I would like to talk about this one. If you have an investment that is running, there is something we call emergency fund. And the name suggests that it is used for emergency. How do we go about emergency fund? There are two schools of thought. If you start working, there is one school of thought that your emergency fund should be 3 months' salary. 3 months gross salary put together. And then you go and put it in what? An emergency fund that this one, if Kojo falls sick, or there is something that has happened that I need money, you don't have to go into the investment itself. You go and dwell on what? Your emergency fund. The other school of thought is that you are supposed to have 6 months of your expenses. So instead of using your gross, every month you know that, oh, I spend about 3,000 cedis as expenses. So 3,000 cedis times 6 will give you 18,000. Is it 18,000? 18,000 cedis. Then you put the 18,000 not under your bed. Probably not at the bank, but you can even buy a fixed deposit with it. Something that when you tell the bank or the institution that I want it today, the next 2 days or today you will get it. That is for emergency fund. Then we have debt repayment. So you are saving money to go and pay your debt. Lifestyle. You want to drive Porsche car. You are supposed to be saving towards that. So if you see a car that is nice on the road now, 20 years time from today, start putting money down. You arrive at that time, you'll be able to buy that car. Retirement planning, education funding, major purchases, legacy. Okay? So next slide. Now listen to this part, and everybody should try and write it down. The process of financial planning is a cycle that involves the following. Number 1, determining your current financial situation. What is your financial situation now? You can determine it. Nobody should be able to tell you. Then 2, setting financial goals. Again, developing alternative courses of what? Action. It shouldn't be only one way. You have to have what? Alternative courses of action. You evaluate all, and then evaluate all the alternatives. So, what is the course of action? Should I do it monthly? Should I do it weekly? Should I do it every 3 months? Then you begin to look at all, evaluate it, and know the one that will best suit you. Don't say that Asimesi or Kofi puts down 300 cedis every month. So I'm also going to put down 300 cedis every month. Meanwhile, your salary is 1,000. Kofi's salary is 3,000. So Kofi's alternative best course of action is not going to be the same as yours. So evaluate your circumstances, evaluate the courses of alternative courses of action, select the what? The right one. So develop and implement your financial plan. And the execution of the plan comes next. When you do that, you revise. Oh, at the end of the year, they said they are going to increase our salary by 30%. So it means that you are also supposed to be revising the plan that you have put in place so that you also increase the money. Next slide. So at this juncture, I've come to the end of the first part. Like our MC said, we are going to have a question section relating to this one. Now, take me to my second part. Some of the things you are going to find here, we've already spoken about it in the immediate past slide. So the content. There's a question I want to ask you. When money comes, you can only do three things with it. Either you waste it, you can spend it, or you do what? You invest it. Without a doubt, about 80% of the people in this room know their level already. We all know our level. The way you are smiling, you can find your level. Either you are spending or you are wasting. Some 20% may have susu boxes in their house. The ones that are spending may even be thinking betting is investment. It's gamble. So which one are you? Let's go on. By the time we finish, you'll be able to find your level. Okay. Now, three things describe investment. Number one, something that you want today, you will forgo that thing for tomorrow. So you are going to forgo the consumption. I have 50 cedis. Instead of using the 50 cedis to chill today, you said, no, I want to put it down for what? Tomorrow. So you have forgone the consumption today for tomorrow. Now, the benefits of the forgone consumption is in the future. It is in the future. It is not immediate. Now, three, listen. Idle cash cannot be an investment because it has not been committed into any asset or a venture. So if you give me 2 trillion and I want to put the 2 trillion down, 3 years later when you come, the only one I can get for you is 3 trillion, right? And it's in the Bible. Jesus gave some people the parable of the talents. When he came back, there was one who didn't do anything with it, didn't invest it. So how was he described? He's a wicked person. That's what the Bible says. So if you put money down without investing it, you are becoming wicked. I didn't say that. Next slide, please. Can you pause it for me? So one person was investing, one person was what? Saving at 10% interest rate. After 20 years, one has $466,000. And the person who decided to save has what? 146. What is the difference? The difference I'm about to tell you. Next slide, please. Now, savings versus investment. These are the things that distinguish them from each other. Now, when it comes to number one, risk and uncertainty. Savings risk is low. That is why you can give the bank 10 million cedis today. You go there tomorrow and say, please, I want my 10 million cedis. They are supposed to give it to you today. Why? Because it was just savings. You didn't ask them to go and do what? Invest. So because the risk for investment, savings is low, the returns or the expected returns is also low. But when you go into investment has high risk. Why is it high risk? It has high risk because the sort of things that it will be put into may be risky. But it doesn't mean that because it's risky, you run away. You see the example of the shares that I gave you, that you bought shares 20 and it went to 30. Okay? You can buy a share today, 20, and tomorrow it is 18. You don't panic and say that, wow, I'm losing money, so I'm going. No. Shares are for long term. When you give that shares long term and financial goal, and you keep it, it is going to move from the 18 back, rise above 20, probably even go to 50 by 10 or 20 years' time. I hope you are getting it. So the risk is that you don't know what you are going to get. But for savings, Or they say we'll give you 5%, and it is low, you take it and go home. You don't want problem. But because of the nature of risk in investment, risk professionals don't put all the money into one area. You understand? You try and look at what is happening before you invest to minimize the risk. When we get to the risks, I'll let you understand something. Now, the expected return is low. Go back, please. Expected return is low for savings. It is high for investment. Predictability of returns. If somebody tells you, I'll give you 10%, you know it's 10%. When you go back, you can predict it. But for investment, because it has the compounding effect, it has other things that come to play, it can increase astronomically, and you will not be able to even tell that, oh, I'll be able to get this or get that, but your money is going to grow for sure. Then liquidity is, like I said, you go to the bank and want my money today, it will be given to you. But when it comes to investment, when you go and say that I want to redeem my investment, they may say come 3 days' time, come 1 week time, because the money has to be what? Disinvested from where it was invested, so it is given to you together with your returns. Next slide. Next slide. Next slide again. Please go back to the previous slide for me. What are investment products? These are designed to generate, manage risk, or achieve specific financial goals. Examples include bonds, stocks, collective investment schemes. Now, what are collective investment schemes? So, there are people who don't have 10 billion, 1 billion, 10 million, you don't have. But what you have is 1,000 cedis, 2,000 cedis, 1,500. This is what we call collective investment scheme. Now, like all of you here in this room can contribute to a fund called, let's say, mutual fund. Mutual fund is a collective investment scheme. So there's a fund manager who will receive this money. Now, because the money was small at your level, it will not be able to diversify across several products. But when you are plenty, the money becomes big, right? So when they are investing, what they do is that they don't put all the money into one area. They put small here, put small here, put small here, put small here. However, when there is returns or the profit that is going to arise out of it, it is going to be shared among all the what? The people involved in the fund. Do you understand? But for that, you don't need big money. You can be doing 500 cedis a month, 1,000 cedis a month, 2,000 cedis a month. And the money becomes big because of the number of people involved. I hope that is clear. It is also similar to the mutual, what we call unit trust. Okay? Now we have, next slide. We have stocks. When they say stocks, it is shares. Shares are what? Stocks. Now, I have told you how a share can give you dividend, and then the price of the share too can appreciate. So whilst you are holding the shares, let's say you are holding company ABC shares. At the end of the year, they declare profit, they declare dividend, they will be paying you dividend whilst you hold the shares. At the same time, the price of the share you are holding is also going up. So you will be able to get what we call capital gain. When you sell the shares to somebody else, you'll be able to get those profits that accrue on it. Now, stocks are issued through initial public offers. What is an initial public offer? There is a company that wants capital, that wants people to come and invest. What they do is that for the first time, they are going to issue shares. If they issue shares for the first time, and people buy the shares, the people get the share, the investors get the shares, and then the money comes to them. They invest the money in the company, and then they begin to pay you what we call what? Dividends as the years go by, when they make profit. So that is what we call IPO. And once they issue the shares begin to trade on the Ghana Stock Exchange. That is where buyers and sellers of securities meet to make sure that the prices are not what? Shrouded in secrecy. It is open to the what? Public on the stock exchange. Next slide. Now, what are the pathways to the stock market? So when I say the stock market, it is about the shares. Know how to choose a company. So the shares you are going to buy, you have to know how to choose the company that is selling that particular share. Identify and choose a licensed stockbroker. How to keep tabs on your portfolio or companies you invested in. Next slide. Now, knowing how to choose your company comes with this. The company whose business model and industry you understand. So if you don't understand the business model, you can't choose. However, it is somebody's job, whose job is a full-time job, to be knowing this. So you can go through that person for the investments. And these are capital market entities or capital market players. Do a proper financial evaluation of the company's reputation and leadership. Know the company's debt situation. That is whether the company is owing so much. If a company is owing so much, why do you add your money for them to manage for you? Then, what is the future of the company? Sometimes when you see a company that is growing, you'll be able to tell that this company is growing very well, so they are worth my money. Next slide, please. Next slide. Now, keeping tabs on your portfolio. Read financial statements, which are published quarterly and annually. Subscribe to newsletters from SEC, GSE, and market operators. Watch business news. Most of the time when we are watching TV, and then it's time for news, half of the people will leave the room. And then when the news is, the main news is gone, the business news, we don't even understand what they are saying. But as students, let's begin to Google, read, understand what the people are saying. You can take pen and paper, write the words. What is it that they said that I don't understand? Bit by bit, you appreciate some of the terms that are used in the financial market. So subscribe to investment channels on social media. Don't go to TikTok and it's all about dances and music and all that. There are business news, investment channels that you can subscribe to get good news. Don't obsess over short-term fluctuations. It's not a get-rich, investment is not a get-rich-quick system. So it is not for short-term. When you are investing, make sure you have what? Long-term goal to achieve. Next slide. So this is bonds. Bonds also come as what? A product in the financial market, but it is a little different from shares. For shares, you are not able to tell what dividend the company will even pay you at the end of the year. But for bonds, the very moment you bought the bonds, you know how much you are going to be paid by way of coupon rate. You are going to be told. So every 6 months, they may give you, but the money you invested is still with them. So if you take the bond for 5 years, or you purchase it for 5 years, and let's say you bought it at 5,000, it is at the end of the 5th year that you'll be giving your 5,000. But every 6 months or every year, whatever the terms of the bond is, you are going to receive your coupon. When it gets to the 5th year, they will give you the 5th year coupon, and then they will add your principal to it, then you go home. Next slide. So collective investment schemes, we've spoken about it previously. Sorry. We've spoken about it previously. Next slide. Now, real estate is also a unit trust, also in the form of collective investment schemes, such that you see this building there, portions of the building could be owned by different people. Do you understand? Next slide. Manage portfolios where I'm rich, I want to invest, I can just take like 10 million. So the managed portfolio is for people with high net worth that bring their money to fund managers for them to manage for them and all that. So the pathways, next slide. So the asset management sector is also one of them. Next slide. Now, there's an animal called inflation. This inflation, we all know that when you even keep your money down, the money will be there and the money is there, but it is eating the money. So that in 2019, when you put 100 of these together, and the money is there, but when you wake up in 2025, the money is still 100, but actual value of the money is like 40. So the 100 cedis can only buy something worth 40 cedis in 2025, and the money is finished. Next slide. Next slide. Please go to the next slide. Next slide. Please take me to where the investment risks are. Now, I want to give you two scenarios. I take my car in the morning, I'm going to Kumasi. So I check the oil, I check the fuel, I check water, tie, and everything going to Kumasi. On the way to Kumasi, there was a rain that has washed the road off. Are you getting me? That you cannot, like the road has been broken into two parts, so you can't go again. When I woke up, I did something. What I did was risk management, to manage the risk of the what? Of me getting to Kumasi safely. But when I was going, something happened that every car that is coming to Kumasi will be stopped. You can't go. That event, for instance, because it was not created by any of the drivers or the vehicles, it was created by something they all didn't expect. And it has happened. And when it happened to everybody. So you see a long traffic. Everybody is in the queue. Now, the other thing is that I'm going to Kumasi. I didn't check my car. When I was going, the car broke down on the road. You see that you are parked and everybody else is going. I want to use that to illustrate what we call systematic risk and what? Unsystematic risk. Some of the risk, you can't do anything about it. It is what? It is actually imposed on you by the market. Nobody can do anything about it. But the guy who set off and didn't check his petrol, didn't check his tire, that one was caused by him. So you have two types of risk in the what? In the capital market, systematic and what? Unsystematic. Systematic is caused by the market. Unsystematic is caused by what? The individual himself. And it is, if it's a company that you invested in, and the company didn't do their things well, it was that company you invested in, not the entire industry or the entire market. I hope you understand. So that distinguishes between systematic risk and unsystematic. So systematic is the inherent risk to an entire market, whilst unsystematic involves risk unique to a particular company. Next slide. So we have market risk. You can read on them. Market risk for systematic risk, interest rate risk, inflation risk, liquidity risk. All these risks can actually be on the market that you didn't cause it. The global or the national economy can cause it, and you will lose money, or it may reduce your return one way or the other. However, in the long run, it corrects itself. Next slide. So for the unsystematic risk, we can still get liquidity here. We have something we call horizon risk. Horizon risk, you invested for 10 years, and then something happened. At the end of the 5th year, you have to do what? Take your money. It means that you'll not be able to get the money that you decided to get. Thank you. Next slide. So the biggest risk is that for lack of knowledge, we all do things that what? We are not supposed to do. So at this juncture, with the information we have given you, we are hoping that you'll be able to do the right investment. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Oh, please, let's do it better for him. Thank you so much. And so please, for the sake of some of our parents, I would really love, if given the honor, to translate whatever our Mr. here said in our local language. Intayade a papa obegina ho onye kan ensem onye ye kan no onye ye kasa fa sikesie sike hungu ejuma na afei financial planning no onye ye kan ho asem no ma ye hu de se kasa bibi is an obi ye sikesie ya onye de is car ikita nyibi na da to ho de da chi bi skate me use me da ye eyi ana me de be ye eyi no waka de ye sika hungu ejuma so onye na ye friend investment wo ye mprofo kasa nim investment on no sonye say ikiteska na ebi ehu de wo yonku bi ana ehu de adwuma bi riye ade ye pa wo Ghana na oman ayetimu ebi mpo betum abada onye oman yanko ayetimu oya outside oman ayetimu ede wo sika behye edem adwuma na nipa nim okoso oman yehu de ensunsun ya oda eye sikesie ene sika huju egumei okire yen de oya da isie sika oya de papa imom de bibi ba be ka ho de bo use ndachi bin inya ne dem today bi asika ho go adwuma because iye sika ho go adwuma ni mu a edu sika so bi na adwuma m na nyipa no de adwuma etu fie imomu sika no re adwuma ma inti se monthly obana se nipa no o declare ne financial statement profit biara onya ye no awonso inya wo very rightful percentage if we eat them profits na otre yen ni mu okoso so ma ye hu de investment ne wo mu ahohoro ebinye de be invest wo knowledge onye ebia bibi abosua botuma ka de I would invest this kanti kosua maybe hairdressing another be pamade o ma ye hu de ono ye one type of investment ebi so I will beka de bedato bonds bedato shares and our stocks or komo treasury stocks any bonds na shares ni no de treasury o ma ye hu mesmanyina o ye adwuma o call so ka de as individuals no already any financial planning na no or can say some of these financial planning or any financial goals na some financial goals even emergency fund or kind of emergency funds no bit there is yes can that should be manus simuna so bibi ye why e dash e de twa wo ho another e be a debt repayment e be a akwaje antakosia niska antakosia not wo dan na echi niska Isieska botum na dachi bi eyibi na de akotua wo kana edine no bi nso ne lifestyle expenses e bia na car bi ore bado ana de bag bi bado awenyi beje ho botum akoto bi se isieska osanso car retirement planning e bia na enche ibenya 60 years according to your enforcement no na bia Yes, Canada to one that be engagement ide twitwa ho eyi ni nsempia wo kan no de tren wa boan ha ma yehu ensunsun ya oda sikese sika ho gu adwuma ene sika mu nhyehyeye a ye woni na o kan nsempia me patro mo ma yenye ne kese ma ne biem na wa tren ya de kese. All right, thank you so much, Mr. So we also have here right on our list. If I'm right, it's time for us to have an icebreaker. And I've always wanted to be a producer by saying, camera rolling, sound, action. And to have here with us, we have here a drama by the Bibi Groma Theatre Company. So please, with a round of applause, please let's give it up to the Bibi Groma Theatre for them to come with us, a drama.
No. Class for so akron dey bia we say department.
Vapor.
Oh,
that be the mayor in Kirio. Mayor ne banini.
Mayor san am ka dey na mbada. Mayor sa.
Party bia ne papa throw ye o. Party bia ne papa throw ye o.
Na so aba one say uniform. Parce asem say ya na mo say nkola.
Oh. This party bia ne papa throw ye o. From Thursday to Friday, Friday to Sunday, Sunday to Monday.
One more pray party. We are against it. Yeah, the archery. Masa pa phone ni two baby na nya nkwa na wo fu.
Masa, what to me make asasa to me that way. And also yeah.
Charlie. Forget no. I'm the money DB I know. DB. See me.
Charlie.
I the
right winner in housing.
I dare not pick it. I pick it. Take it, mommy. Oh, I take it. Take it, mommy. I pick it. Take it, mommy. Oh, I take it. Tell it, guys.
Spider.
Guys, tell it. Chale bra.
And then I will get this.
Me who betting app be eh? Chale betting app no. Massa.
Chale. Hey, wait. Are you sure?
Chale.
I don't like this thing, no.
Oh, let me say something.
This bet is risky.
Chale, me this betting thing. Me personally you because you know say Poppy they drive this trot you know they work. Mommy too they sell charcoal town JBD. I'm working chale.
Mrs. App we me eh best sell shabre. Me na be catch o.
Oh yeah sure.
It be my party be in party. In party way in brother in party.
Your party.
Maybe you take the app show me. Me I dey talk you. Chale, I tried the app. Me I say I tried the app. Chale, you know the money I dey chop right now.
Hey, come.
Chale, see come with you how. Say see how me. Me 100 cities to so me 2,000.
Oh, change.
Hey, it is good. It is too good to be true.
2,000 Ghana.
Hey.
Wow.
And then
relax.
Now who cry, Chale?
Run near,
But only say.
You fast up.
Let's match them before. Na oh.
Mama
me hwe bia.
Who said who be TV?
Me.
Na say who so pebe.
Excuse me, you know what? This is poor people's problem, okay?
Hey.
E dey otre.
Hwe. Madam one e poor wa.
Asa ko.
Who ya jeje so sa utirima yo desa anti bi so be poor. Yeah, o see ye poor. Ye bet why? Ye benye scan tebia.
App ni e.
App ni hwe.
Intimi call.
Hey, this thing is risky.
Oh.
Let's match them at the
Yeah, come and take a picture of me.
Come and take one. Do I look like a photographer?
I download it.
What's it? If I code with him, A C3
BO2.
Oh, yes, me fino. Aha. So man can't throw. What's happening? Oh, okay. You say they take
1 CD no.
You just wait. Where say who bet me 1 CD and 2 CDs.
Oh, sister, wait.
Okay, mommy 1 CD answer.
1 CD.
Yeah.
Who say who do 1 CD? Who say
potential win 1,000 Ghana.
Hey. Obedi. Aka last match. Me na me catch it. For back to ho. Say. Aka last match.
Ready.
Atiki.
By this time I was out here TikTok kitchen recipes near that day.
Excuse me, don't be talking to me like that. I don't like that.
You don't like me
Talk to
that.
that
Slip back on here then.
This year no slip way. Load the slip way. Who do also load?
Wait can be.
Master, me chat 200.
200.
Mama farmer no. Someone say ni papa Oscar.
In the name of God, Nyanko me power show. Why?
Hey, risky. Met match at the full Ubenya
scarces.
BOGSE.
What TikTok app now our phone is what the other. By this time, who's here and one other.
I have a chef, okay?
Oh. 5 games. Liverpool.
Are they risky?
Chelsea. Oh.
Hey, media no 3 article.
3 article. Man can't roll. Who do you be?
But wait. Oh yeah,
Hey. Let me tell you,
Spider. What is that?
You are the Trinity.
The beginner. That's a trophy.
And the savior.
Yeah.
Spider. You know something? The real Sikanekon.
Who says it's Siano?
Me will school fees.
Wait. Share. Yanyan sakakra. Untimi found your school fees and bebeti. Yanya dear sir, but you would make 3,000. Into bet to Yamekano. Because me who say when you scout bet to Yameka. Who make 1,005?
Now who student?
50 pesos come by me. They no tell.
What can say we?
Me person who said me 1,005 you bet ya.
Yo, bet ya.
With the 50 ni be count.
Yo, bet ya.
50 pesos in fast also.
Yo, bet ya.
Now interest.
3,000.
Yo, yati. Yanko. School fees.
Oh! I don't know any pressure.
Oh,
who do you any school fees by Toso?
Ayo usika. Ayo school fees.
Fatusu, massa, fatusu.
Any registration fee.
For school fees, no registration fee, no. Any bet na we didn't say fatusu. Say ye me 3 trillion.
3 trillion.
3 trillion.
Chale mami weni.
Akwana odi no. Ono onye. Oh. Akwana odi no. Do akira me ye no. Ono onye adwuma bia o. Eye bet na odi nya ni sika o. Bet na. We sit down, we talk cars. Cars.
Chale ya talk cars. Chale me can no ma todida.
What talk na we?
Na make me show. Se me debate we ya on. Only the nkrofo beka.
Nkrofo beka den. Chale.
Ojo's boys no. What's the take answer? Can ask girls. Can ask girls no me friend me da see because mama can am so me da see. That's the tech boys no. What's that guy near friend rapper ta? Wajigbo. Omega say pressure.
Pressure.
Na me do fear. Fear for you na be friend me MP.
MP na man party.
Chale.
What's that girls na me friend me? Obi Doba. Boys they friend me. Oh dirty bastard.
And to why would him say dirty bastard?
Into bracket.
Dirty bastard.
ODB.
Hey.
Chale.
Yanko.
Mr. Sika the crowd di.
Listen to me la. Oh. Listen to me.
Uni bibi. Very funny e dey ma on crap no. Enye, I was here for bad energy. You are bad energy.
Evaporation. Miss Yanyama bebre.
Chale.
Paper near.
Oh.
Bra.
Chale, nsesi ano fa uni say ya dey send umomo wo hu. Uma me dey send umomo. Fa bibia to so. Fa bibia to so. Nini na ma me hwe. We nini na no be nini na be 15,000. Ti fa nini na to so. Me say no me di bibia to so but me yi bi dey sie but who dey no fa bibia to so.
Yeah.
Code me SEC 200 B. And one says I started taking. Take
Lack of knowledge, my people perish.
Why the people know?
You will perish.
Do you think I'm crazy? This is risky.
Risky.
I can teach you something better.
Oh, Yampe.
Chelsea now take it.
Charlie, 10 teams. 6 teams. I
flip it.
You cash out or you cash out.
Liverpool need
cash out.
Not just when you're not also.
3 trillion.
888
coins.
Liverpool need Madrid nebo.
Akalas.
Liverpool need Madrid. Madrid may win the game way. Madrid go win this match. Aye. That one they're sure. Madrid
cash out or cash out. How much to cash out?
Hey. Charlie.
You have to cash out anymore.
You have to cash out anymore.
Saka one.
Baba.
Anna, network no. Sometimes network no. Sometimes network need to miss his scores. Yeah, Charlie, ube win. 89th minute still.
3% come. Baba.
Charlie.
When it is coming, it is doing.
Hey.
He don't cast. He don't cast. Yeah. Una unie. Unya school fees. Ube unya.
Me ankasa sa team we na me some best and ntina me ntwa no.
Yeah.
Spider.
When I'm telling you something. Spider. Tie me. Say me come here chire mo a. E wo say mu tie me. Me ka chire mo say.
Me wo sisi me. Yeah, mu boke ungu me so.
Say what you weni so. You have collected your eyes. What you weni so. I told you. Me wa bibia met me chire mo. Amu be nyaska. Just that abotre. What mutual funds that? Investment, mutual funds. Udu sika betu kakra. Ebedru baby no, usika ni ye juma ma. Now we have small returns. Now gada, o the best secure future. Wait me, they sit down. Oh, it's because I'm with CMA, and yes, I'm in person, my bet you. Family said, Bibi Woho.
And yes, I'm training here. You, into the Siano. The Abene said, Ceciano, the Abene said,
mutual funds are same.
Says Siano,
mutual funds are. I kakran de tour, Ken. A bedroom baby na unya huska. Sa ai.
Ceciano, Uma Missika no Sunday uno. Momono, young country say, Frosters, woman use cano.
And then I can.
And it's all to me coffee. And so to me coffee. Young school fees. 3 trillion.
Guy Nankaso, you greet
Spider from one Nancy. 3 trillion.
I didn't Casanuse. Bibia would be today. Bibia may can be our way. Bibia may can be an hour. You will soon answer. We are greedy to do.
So my people, with wise decisions, Obidoba and Spider were able to secure their future, ensuring brighter and a more stable life. Thank you.
Let's give it up for them. You know, the thing about these schemes, when you start the first time, you win and you're excited. You try the second time, if you're lucky, you win. You pump in more money, and then you lose everything. It is only then that you realize that you've made a mistake. So, ladies and gentlemen, it's important that as a people, we're able to identify and avoid fraudulent investment schemes. And that is our next conversation. Let's welcome Lillian Danso-Afum, who is Deputy Chief Manager of SEC, to tell us more about how to identify and avoid fraudulent investment schemes. With a round of applause.
Good morning. And good morning to you, the Director General. I want to stand on all existing protocols. There's a song that was sung here, and I think that it wasn't complete. Osi ayede apeke on. Inti apeke. And then he said what? Atike. But a peke na tiki wia. E betumi abombe. Anamebwa. Enti mumaya fansu yetim. E tiki wie na piki wia. E betumi abombe. Sika eye moja. So if you have money, protect the money. We have observed that there are a number of people who are parading themselves and institutions who are parading themselves as people who can invest your funds and make very outrageous returns for you. But those schemes are based on deception. And that is why I started on the note that ebe piki ye na tiki a ebe tumi abombe. There is a video we want to share with you that gives you a kind of a summary about investment scams. So please let's roll the video. I don't know why you are laughing. Why? What did you see? What did you see? Can somebody tell me? Okay, So we see this gentleman who keeps pushing some things that he had. There was something small that was sent out to bait him, but he ended up pushing everything that he had received back, and the door closed on him. That is a very simple summary of what happens when there's an investment of a fraudulent investment scheme. Now, I think that it's important that we know what a genuine investment is, if we are going to be able to tell what a counterfeit is or what is fraudulent. And so I want us to talk first. My apologies. If you'll be able to tell what a counterfeit is, you should know what an original is like. And I want us to have a small discussion around what an investment scheme is. If we are able to tell what a genuine investment scheme is, then it will be easier for us to know what fraudulent investment schemes are, and we'll be able to pick out the characteristics or the features and be able to question them and make very good decisions so far as our funds and our investments are concerned. This morning, I want you to know that an investment scheme is an arrangement or a structure in which funds from multiple investors are pooled and invested in various assets on their behalf by a fund manager with the aim of making a maximum return while minimizing risk. If you look at the definition we have there, you see multiple investors, you see pool of investments, you see the fact that the investments are done in various assets. You see that there's a fund manager who manages the fund, and then there's a concept of risk and return. I want to tell you that by coming in here and sitting on the seat that you are sitting, you took a risk. Now, if it is a scheme is made up of funds of a number of investors. So you may have 100 cedis, somebody may have 1,000, somebody may have 20,000. But everything is pooled together, and it is invested on behalf of the scheme by a professional, and that professional is a fund manager. Fund managers are issued licenses by the Securities and Exchange Commission. So if you don't have a license from the Securities and Exchange Commission as an institution or an individual, you have no business holding yourself out as a fund manager. So if you are investing in a scheme, that scheme should be managed by a fund manager. Okay, and then you see that the fund manager invests in various classes of assets. One of my colleagues talked about the fact that they diversify. So they invest in different assets to be able to make a maximum return. Now, everybody who invests wants a return. But when we are aiming for a return, the returns comes at a risk. I said earlier that by choosing to come and sit on the seat you are sitting, you took a risk. Life is full of risk. And so when you invest, investment comes with risk. The chair that you are sitting on could have broken down at the point you sat on it. But you decided you wanted comfort, so you chose to take a seat. I think it is important for us to acknowledge the fact that when we decide to invest, investments comes with a risk. And let's also bear in mind that our focus so far as investment is concerned is to make a return. But the fund manager who plays the middle person, who manages the funds, works in a way as to be able to make a maximum return at a very minimal risk. Now let's go on to fraudulent investment schemes. We are saying that fraudulent investment schemes are programs that are designed to deceive people into investing money based on misleading information. There's something I forgot to tell you. If you are going to invest in a scheme, there's a document that governs the scheme. That document is called Scheme Particulars or Prospectus. It's a legal document. In that document, you will find every information that you need about the scheme. So you know the kind of assets that the scheme will invest in, the name of the asset, the fund manager. You get to know who the auditors of the fund are. You get to know the reason for the fund, what the scheme exists for. Okay, so when you are equipped with information and you are taking a decision, you know what you are putting your money into. In that scheme particulars, you'll be able to tell what kind of risk that there is involved so far as that investment is concerned. Now, fraudulent investment schemes will give you information, but the information that they give you is misleading. And the whole idea behind it is to get you to part with your funds. Even if they don't get you consistently parting with funds, the initial one really matters to them. And so everything about fraudulent investment schemes is deception. Now, having talked about what fraudulent investment schemes are, I want us to look at the red flags. If we say red flags, I mean, for us, I just want us to tune our minds to traffic lights. If you see a red light, what does it mean? If you see a red light, what does it mean? Stop. So by red flags, what we are saying is that if you observe some of these things that we are going to talk about, it means that you should open your eyes wide, shine your eyes, and watch the kind of investment product that has been presented to you before you put your money into it. Now, the first thing I want us to look at is the fact that fraudulent investment schemes normally have unlicensed or unregulated products, and they are managed by unlicensed firms. And so you have an individual or even an institution approaching you. When you ask them about their license, they may not have a license, but they will come and tell you that they can invest your funds and they can make very good returns for you. Nya can say, obi ba won chen na say, or say, oye, obi obetumi, I manage you investment amawa. Eya hwe nyoma bi. Enyoma ya list wa hey, yedi nkomo yi, eno na esa wo hwe. Most of the time obi beba won chen ya, say oba beji usika akokra amawa. Hwe say nipa kro no owo license ana. Omo nye adwuma pa no omo ji nkrofo sika no, most of the time omo ni license. Na license na sane ye de license ne be ma oni ye be hwe wo nyoma mu ehu se o ba no ma me bu nkrofo kwase a market ni mu ansa na ye de license na ma won ti se wo ni license a na e kire se adwuma a wo di no questions kakra wo ho. Inti that is one of the red flags of fraudulent investment schemes. Ni etosu mienu ene say fraudulent investment schemes, they promise very high guaranteed returns without risk or with a minimum risk. And so somebody approaches you and tells you that, give me your funds to manage. You can give me 100 cedis. And in 3 days' time, you get 10,000 cedis. That is very significant. And he has guaranteed that you get the money. But if somebody approaches you like that, it raises questions. Nya can say, obi betumi aba on chambe catch or say me 100 cedis. Na after 3 days, metumi a multiply 100 cedis no, ama na ba be 10,000. Inti say obi ba on chambe ka bibi saa, bisa ho say, e de ade na odi sika ne ye nti a obetumi enya saa mfaso no, e di bia brew. So the second thing we looked at is the fact that fraudulent investment schemes, they guarantee returns and they guarantee that you get very high returns within a short period of time. So 3 days. That is what they tell you. The next thing we look at is the fact that normally they are anonymous. So if you look at the video we watched, the person who was pushing the items out didn't show his face. And that is what fraudulent investment schemes do. You will experience them online. You will not know the business, the company that is involved. You will not know the individuals that are behind it. So they hide behind the screen and deal with you. So that at any point in time, if you need to identify them, you will not be able to identify them. That is something we also have to look out for when we are considering and looking out for fraudulent investment schemes. The fourth point is the fact that they employ pressure tactics. You have to do it immediately. If you don't do it immediately, you will lose out. So they create a certain sense of urgency that makes you feel like you are missing out on something. And it pushes you to put your money into it. But when any such investment offer is given to you, please shine your eyes, ask questions, and see what will come out of it. Can we move to the next slide, please? When we are dealing with fraudulent investment schemes, there's normally a strong emphasis on recruiting other people. So, anybody who is managing a fraudulent investment scheme may approach you to invest. But beyond that, there are some of the schemes that will tell you, if you bring another person to come and invest, you get this much. So the returns that you are going to make is dependent on the people that you bring into the scheme. But the fact is that the people you bring into the scheme will bring initial investments. And those investments are the funds that will be used to pay those who are already existing in the fund. So a fraudulent investment scheme cannot be sustained if new investors are not coming on board. There is generally a lack of transparency when it comes to fraudulent investment schemes. Adiana omosi ubenya sika omuno. Omo mie ni mu nchireo. So you don't really have a full picture of how the scheme operates and everything about it. And yet, the encouragement is for you to put your money into it. Please, if you experience anything like that, shine your eyes. They use very unusual payment methods. Some years ago, I heard about an investment scheme that when you are going to invest, you cannot pay them a check. You have to take physical cash. When you request for a redemption, that they should pay you your money, they pay you cash. So nothing was passing through the banking system. If you experience any investment scheme that uses unusual payment methods, apart from what we are used to that are valid, please be cautious. They use very secretive, complex structures and technologies. The drama that they did, I think at a point the gentleman was trying to access the system, and he realized that it wasn't working, and the guy was saying that he had network problems. But any network problem, system no more designing is like that. So, and the whole idea is just so that you get confused and you won't be able to identify what is happening. So that when you lose your money, you lose it. You will have nobody to question. Can we move to the next slide, please? Fraudulent investment schemes normally have issues with paperwork. So they give you false documents. We talked about scheme particulars. Even if they give you any information about the scheme, most of the time, the information they give you is misleading. Most of the time, they don't even have any information to offer, apart from the promise that they give you. They also give fake testimonials and endorsements. Sometimes you would have someone approach you. There's a second video we'll watch. When we finish, I'll talk about this. And then they promise easy money, quick riches, or passive income. So they come with very good promises. And one thing we should realize is that those who are behind the fraudulent investment schemes know that we have a quest for returns. And we are human beings. We want high returns. We want high returns. And so they take advantage of that and take our money, and then we lose out. There's a second video I want us to roll out so that we can
Good afternoon, sir. Sir, can I talk to you?
You're already talking to me.
Good. Sir, I'm here with an idea that will boost your financial status. It's a program that has been existing and has changed countless lives. And it's about to change your life. Sir, have you heard about Okigwe Financial Upliftment Program? The Okigwe Financial Upliftment Program has been existing since 2001. And from since 2001 till 2022, we have succeeded in changing 1,000 people to billionaires. In 1992, the Okigwe Financial Upliftment Program was introduced to Ghana. They were able to make 10 billionaires out of Ghana. They left Ghana and they went to US. The Okigwe Financial Upliftment Program was able to raise 30 billionaires in US. Recent research shows that Nigeria is among those African countries that needs to create billionaires. I just arrived Nigeria now, and you're very lucky. Okay. You are the first person I'm talking to as I arrived Nigeria. The Okigwe Financial Upliftment Program is not a Ponzi scheme. It is not those financial companies that will come in 3 months, they will go. All you need to do is to bring 1,000 naira. Sir, in 10 minutes, that 1,000 naira will change to $1,000.
If I bring 1,000 naira, I make $1,000.
Sir, look at you.
This 1,000 naira, now my last card.
Sir, when our program went to US, we told Floyd Mayweather, the bosser, Floyd, put in 1,000 naira. Let us Okigwe you. Floyd thought we were joking. When Floyd Mayweather put in 1,000 naira, in 10 minutes, Floyd Mayweather made $1,000. When the video started, we said the video, put 1,000 naira, and we lift you. The video put 1,000 naira. We gave the video $1,000. Now he's completing the money to buy his girlfriend a G-Wagon. Bring the 1,000.
If I put her now, I'll get $1,000.
Now calm down. It's not even up to 10 minutes. Calm down. Now this is what is going to happen. Now, sir, now this is you.
Now maybe this.
Oh, let me add there. I don't add there. See you here now.
Now your father be this, not be me.
This is sir, that's not my father. My father is a billionaire. Calm down. So I see these things here. These are the 2 people you need. Thank God it's not up to 10 minutes here too. If you can get 2 people now, $1,000 is your own.
Okay, you don't tell me this one. So if I bring 2 people now, give me $1,000.
So I just bring 2 people.
Live. Oh no. Man, I come. Okay.
Wow, you have 2 people.
I don't bring them. I do $1,000.
I like your energy. You have a billionaire mindset. Yes. Now, sir, this is you and this is your 2 people. Now you have moved to the primary chain. Sir, this is your 2 people now. Thank God we have like 3 more minutes remaining. Let this your 2 people now bring 2 people. Now, once this your 2 people bring 2 people, it will complete your Okigwe Financial Upliftment Program scheme. Once you complete your scheme, the $1,000 is coming.
Oh, yeah, man, I bring 2 people. Man, I come.
Tommy!
Fire! Come. Small 2 people don't come.
So yeah, they have 2 people. Good. Now these 2 people is the fair one own. The blocker should bring 2 people to complete your system to the secondary level.
City, come.
Oh, sorry.
Okay, don't complete now. The $1,000.
Now, in this level where you are currently in the Okigwe Financial Program Ultimate side. These 2 people that the 2 people you bring brought. Now the last 2 people to bring their own 2 people. Are you playing? That will be able to complete the circle and balance the chain. Once the chain gets to this particular point, $1,000 is your own.
Make these people bring another 2 people.
Just these last 2 people.
Man, I bring 2 people.
Baby! Everybody, man, come.
Enough 2 people.
Wow. So all of you have 2 people?
Yes.
You sabi plenty 2 people, we get 2 people, no?
This way they talk no concern me. No be our business. That's my $1,000.
Your $1,000, okay? But take a 1,000 naira, Business across the Allah. Umunile will do 2 people. We will landing up. Sabi 2 people for this side. Now go another area.
Too easy. Okay, so I will not go into the details of the video, but a word to the wise is enough. There are a few things that I saw. So there was a mention of a Ponzi scheme. A Ponzi scheme is a type of fraudulent investment scheme. And then if you realize there was a drawing, that is another type of fraudulent investment scheme. It is called a pyramid scheme. Please, you can read on that. But I want us to talk about the effect of these fraudulent investment schemes on us as individuals and the nation as a whole. If you invest your money in a fraudulent investment scheme, 1, you lose your money. When you lose your money, it brings you emotional and psychological stress. Sika eye moja. So make sure you are protecting your money. And then when you invest in fraudulent investment schemes, what happens is that your confidence as an investor in the financial system is eroded. The final thing that happens is that when you encourage yourself to invest in fraudulent investment schemes, you encourage crime, because the people behind these fraudulent investment schemes are criminals. Now let's come to how to avoid these fraudulent investment schemes. It is important that when you are dealing with people who want to invest your funds for you, you have a certain level of suspicion. So please be suspicious when people bring you juicy offers and they promise that you can get the returns at no risk at all. The second thing you should consider is the fact that if you want to make investment decisions, please talk to investment professionals. We mentioned fund managers. We have brokerage companies as well, and a number that have our licenses to do this kind of work. Please talk to a professional if you have to invest. And then you should also research. You can simply pick a phone and call the SEC line and ask that this company approached me, that I can invest with them. Are they licensed by Securities and Exchange Commission? You will get an answer for that. So please research the people and the companies that approach you to invest your money for you. The other thing that you have to do is to monitor your accounts. Whether it is a fraudulent investment scheme that you have invested in, or a bank or whatever, monitor what is in your account so that if there is any shaky movement around your money, you'll be able to tell. Then it's important that you conduct background checks. I think I've mentioned that. The last thing I want to talk about is the fact that it's important that you ask questions. When you start asking the people who approach you questions, then they will begin to back off. If you are asking them about their scheme particulars to inform you, and they don't have, that is a red flag. If you ask yourself whether the investment opportunity they are presenting to you, you understand it, and you realize you don't understand, that is a red flag. If somebody approaches you, and then you ask the person whether the person has a license, and the person doesn't have it, it's a red flag. You advise yourself. It's important for you to assess investment opportunities that are presented to you. Now, with all the information that we have given you, if it happens that you are still defrauded, it is important that you report. When you report, in as much as you may have lost your money, you will protect somebody else. You may protect your mother or your father or your friend. Because when you report to us and action is taken, other people will not fall victim. So we will advise there, like we have said, if you have any problem with any institution that is in our market, you can call the SEC line. Our toll-free line is 0800 100 065. 0800 1065. It's on here. And then, apart from the Securities and Exchange Commission, if you are not sure, you can report to Bank of Ghana. If it is not something that falls within their mandates, they will refer it to us. Now, if you are not sure of anything at all, we see a lot of policemen here. Report the fraud that you experience to the Ghana police station. My final words, look at the person who is sitting beside you and tell the person, make sure you don't get Ponzi'd. Take responsibility for your money and shine your eyes. Have a very good afternoon, and thank you for having me.
A very big thank you to Mrs. Lillian, and indeed we are going to shine our eyes. That was a very quick one, and in a nutshell, as Mrs. Lillian Okatrain, the system na ye wom ni sisian. Onye that na home obi obu swine was connected no ho. It was car. Be smart, call SEC. She gave us the SEC number. Na planning was kana bibia beto fafama. No kind train. Okay, so next on our list, we are going to have a career options and opportunities in the securities market by Mrs. Naomi Simpson. She is the senior manager and also is part of the Funds Management Department at the Securities and Exchange Commission. Please, with a round of applause, please let's give it up to Mrs. Naomi Sensi.
Thank you very much. DG, please permit me to stand on the previous protocols observed. Thank you very much. My job is very simple this afternoon. Mijidi say, yebusa yehu say, ne krakra ne saying, how can I also benefit or get involved in this juicy and beautiful industry that we have been hearing of the whole day? Inti sawo hana obusa say, inti miankasa saying meya menya capital market ya ye ka ho asem no ehum faso and I say me baby and I say if you are in the secondary school or the university and you are here and you feel tickled a bit and you are wondering how can you benefit from this beautiful industry, listen to me, because that is why I am here. We have two routes of gaining career path in the industry, but I would first start by defining what is career. A career is the sequence of work roles and experiences an individual undertakes throughout their professional life. It includes progression and even shifts between different occupations. Enti fise nipa shasiye, if you are starting so ye juma a kopem obedru retirement in juma waye ewo different stages of the life till oberita no udini na boma, that is the person's career. Enti aka say a person starts very humbly as a secretary in an organization. The person builds him or herself up to become an executive assistant, and then later on takes a professional course or upgrades him or herself and becomes a company secretary, maybe a lawyer or some other corporate governance courses, and becomes a company secretary. By the time the person is retiring, you start from being the secretary up till the company secretary. That would have been the person's career path throughout the person's working life. In the capital market, there could be two routes. There is the white-collar jobs, as we have heard. I'll give more examples as I progress. And then you could come from the route of entrepreneurship. Ebi a wo house, okay, ebi a me de me ntimi mbotai ana se me hwe me ho a menye omo bobotai ko adwuma ni bi. Ntimi kra sen na me ya me benefit from this industry. And our industry ya ka ho asem yi. Menya ho emfaso. Ne obetimi aye ne se wanka se adwuma ben na nsanu adwuma ben na ofeli se utimi eye. It could be manufacturing, it could be agricultural sector, whatever it is. Utimi ebobo onsano de shasia, small startups and all that. We have private equity and venture capital businesses that invest in startups. We have people we call angel investors. Omo show business asia. Oko omo hwa, omo buao with money, not only money, the knowledge, how to set up your own company, how to keep it running, how to keep accounts and all that. And then they take equity stake in your business. Omo babe oni shares our business. That is a route you could take. And then if you have a company set up, but bank interest no shrododo inti time a obetie no na company na share down kwanim sane nka wo pese ekwanim no. You can come through the route of IPO and then listing on the stock exchange, as the first speaker spoke about. Inti no oba ye from issuers ombe boawo na what shisha won krata nyina ye. You put together your documents, you apply to the commission, we look at your documents, we approve it, and then you can go to the capital market, call on investors, for them to come and invest in your company. And I'm so thankful be invest here. That dream you have can be expanded. The business will be expanded. And then you will get the needed returns you want. Into only the traditional angle you could take. The second part is, if you want to come through the white collar roles, what you do is you look at the different sectors we have. Next slide, please. Next. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. Good. You look at the different job opportunities in the industry. Yeah, well, IT specialists. Yeah, brothers Bakone Kasano Oka about IT, CSD. Say IT, almost the systems are too high. It keeps record and data of all investments within the country. It is heavily built on IT, infrastructure, and soft skills. Sorry. I just spoke about venture capitalists. So there are people who help investors to get money, or it is called the excess saving units coming together with deficit saving units. Say they have enough saved and they want to invest. And then there are others who